Marriage, a sacred vow, a promise whispered with hope, two souls entwined, dreaming of forever. But what happens when forever starts to fray? When the threads of love and commitment begin to unravel, leaving behind a tapestry of broken promises and unspoken pain. Divorce. It's a word heavy with finality, echoing with the ghosts of shared dreams and shattered expectations. And for many men, it's a journey fraught with confusion, regret, and a profound sense of loss that extends far beyond the legal dissolution of a marriage. This is the story of three men. Three men who loved and lost, who stumbled through the wreckage of their marriages and emerged on the other side, forever changed. Their stories are not unique, but they are deeply personal. Reflections of the universal struggles men face when navigating the emotional minefield of divorce. Through their experiences, we gain a glimpse into the hearts and minds of men grappling with the complexities of love, loss, and the enduring power of human connection. This is about understanding. This is about empathy. This is about the men who loved and lost, and the women who remain forever etched in the fabric of their lives.
Mark remembers the silence, not the comfortable silence of shared moments, but the deafening silence of unspoken words, of growing distance. His marriage had crumbled slowly, eroded by years of miscommunication and unmet needs. He remembers the arguments, the resentment that festered like an open wound. He remembers the guilt, the heavy weight of responsibility for the pain he inflicted and the pain he endured. Looking back, he sees his ex-wife through a different lens. The anger has softened, replaced by a bittersweet ache of what could have been. He sees her strength, her resilience in the face of his own shortcomings. He sees her pain, the pain he now realizes he both caused and mirrored. The what-ifs haunt him, whispers of a different path, a different outcome. He carries the weight of his choices, the burden of regret a constant companion. He knows he can't change the past, but the yearning for a different ending lingers. He sees his ex-wife now as a woman he hurt, a woman he loved but didn't know how to love well. He sees her strength, her independence, and he finds solace in knowing that she is thriving, even without him.
For John, divorce was a violent storm, ripping through his life with the force of a hurricane. It was messy, painful, and left him feeling lost and broken. He remembers the anger, the bitterness that poisoned his heart. He remembers the blame, the way he pointed fingers, refusing to acknowledge his own role in the breakdown of his marriage. But time, that relentless sculptor of hearts, slowly chipped away at the walls he had built around himself. He began to see his ex-wife not as an adversary, but as a fellow traveler on the often treacherous path of life. He saw her flaws, yes, but he also saw her humanity, her own struggles and insecurities. He began to forgive. He forgave her for the hurt, for the anger, for the mistakes they both made. But most importantly, he forgave himself. He learned to let go of the past, to release the grip of resentment that had held him captive for so long. He found freedom in forgiveness, a lightness he hadn't realized he craved. He sees his ex-wife now as a woman he once loved, a woman who taught him valuable lessons about himself, about love, and about the importance of letting go.
David's divorce was a slow burn, a gradual erosion of connection that left him feeling empty and alone. He remembers the sadness, the quiet despair that settled over him like a shroud. He remembers the resentment, the way he clung to his anger, using it as a shield to protect himself from the pain of loss. But as the dust settled, he began to see his ex-wife with new eyes. He saw her not as the enemy, but as a woman he once loved. A woman who had her own dreams, her own desires. He realized that their paths, once so intertwined, had simply diverged, leading them in different directions. He began to understand that sometimes love isn't enough. Sometimes, despite the best intentions, two people simply aren't meant to stay together. He let go of the bitterness, choosing instead to focus on the good memories, the laughter, the love they shared. He sees his ex-wife now as a woman he respects, a woman who taught him the true meaning of forgiveness and the importance of honoring the past while embracing the future.
Through her eyes, a shift in perspective. These three men, each with their own story, their own journey through the labyrinth of divorce, share a common thread, a shift in perspective. They no longer view their ex-wives solely through the lens of their own pain and resentment. Instead, they see them as individuals, as women who loved and lost, who made mistakes and experienced growth. They recognize the complexities of their relationships, the interplay of personalities, the weight of unspoken expectations. They acknowledge their own shortcomings, their own contributions to the breakdown of their marriages, and in that acknowledgement, they find a measure of peace. They understand that divorce, while often viewed as an ending, is also a beginning. It's an opportunity for self-reflection, for growth, for rediscovering who they are outside the confines of a failed marriage. They emerge from the wreckage, not unscathed but stronger, wiser, and more compassionate. The weight of words unspoken. One of the most poignant realizations these men share is the weight of words unspoken. They recall the arguments left unresolved, the apologies never offered, the love never quite expressed. They see now how their own emotional reticence contributed to the chasm that grew between them and their partners. They recognize the importance of communication, of expressing their needs and desires, of listening with open hearts and minds. They understand that intimacy thrives on vulnerability, on the willingness to share their deepest fears and aspirations. They carry the lessons learned from their failed marriages into their present and future relationships. They are more mindful of their words, more attuned to the emotional needs of their partners. They understand that love, like a delicate flower, requires constant nurturing, open communication, and a willingness to be vulnerable. Divorce often highlights the ways in which couples lose the language of love. The once familiar gestures of affection become strained, replaced by a coldness that chills the very core of the relationship. Intimacy, both physical and emotional, fades, leaving behind a void that can feel impossible to bridge. These men, reflecting on their pasts, recognize the importance of nurturing intimacy in their relationships. They realize that love, like a flickering flame, requires constant attention, a conscious effort to keep the spark alive. They understand that intimacy thrives on shared experiences, on moments of connection that transcend the mundane. They are more present in their relationships, more attuned to the needs and desires of their partners. They understand that true intimacy requires vulnerability, a willingness to let down their guards and allow themselves to be truly seen and loved. Divorce, for all its pain and upheaval, can be a catalyst for profound personal growth. It forces individuals to confront their own shortcomings, their own contributions to the breakdown of the relationship. It compels them to take a long, hard look in the mirror and ask themselves difficult questions. These men, in the aftermath of their divorces, embraced the opportunity for self-reflection. They acknowledged their own mistakes, their own role in the dissolution of their marriages. They sought therapy, read self-help books, and engaged in honest conversations with trusted friends and family members. They emerged from this process of self-discovery with a deeper understanding of themselves, their needs, and their desires. They learned valuable lessons about communication, compromise, and the importance of setting healthy boundaries. Divorce is not the end of the story. It is simply a turning point, a new chapter in the ongoing narrative of life. These men, having weathered the storm of divorce, emerged stronger, wiser, and more compassionate. They carry the lessons learned from their pasts into their present and future relationships. They are more mindful of their words and actions, more attuned to the emotional needs of their partners. They understand that love is not a destination, but a journey, one that requires constant effort, communication, and a willingness to grow together. They approach new relationships with a sense of cautious optimism, their hearts open to the possibility of love, but their minds aware of the complexities and challenges that come with it. They are committed to healthy, fulfilling relationships based on mutual respect, trust, and understanding. Divorce may sever the legal bonds of marriage, but it cannot erase the memories, the emotions, the enduring echo of love that lingers long after the vows have been broken. These men, reflecting on their pasts, acknowledge the profound impact their ex-wives had on their lives. They recognize the love that was shared, the laughter, the dreams that once bound them together. They see their ex-wives not as strangers, but as women who played a significant role in shaping who they are today. They carry the lessons learned from their marriages, both the joys and the sorrows, into their futures. They understand that love, in all its complexities and contradictions, is a powerful force that leaves an indelible mark on the human heart. And while their journeys may have diverged, the memories of love, loss, and lessons learned remain, shaping their present and guiding them towards a future filled with hope, healing, and the enduring possibility of finding love again.